So on the left there is a picture or I guess a meme that I saw online that is supposed to show how many people bit the dust at Auschwitz. And it says one of the warehouses filled with victims' shoes up to the ceiling, Auschwitz, 1945. Right. And you see supposedly a ladder in the background. And then on the left, I mean, is that just a wall of shoes? How is that even standing there? I highly doubt this is even a real picture, to be completely honest. It would be interesting to see if this original picture, if there was an original picture, was found anywhere else a long time ago. But anyway, what I didn't know was that there was a shoe factory at Auschwitz. They neglect to mention that to you in this image here on the left. So if this is a real image, maybe these are just shoes that they manufactured or repaired. And that's literally it. It's so ridiculous, right? I mean, they lie about every single thing. So yeah, you can see here the digital Jew admitted that there was a shoe repair and production workshops at Auschwitz. That's unbelievable. So, it says that prisoners were forced to repair and produce shoes. Now, note, I've talked about this in other videos. All prisoners were paid for their work, so there was no quote unquote forced labor. At least that's what I have found. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I have also read from German testimony as well that they paid employees, that they paid prisoners. So, um, yeah, and it says that prisoners worked under extremely harsh conditions with little or no food or abuse, which there was no abuse, at least not by the Germans, maybe within the camps themselves by fellow inmates, right? Which there's a Jew that talks about that. I think his name was Rassinier, which I'm going to do videos on him because he is incredibly interesting because he's a Jew. He was in Dachau and he refutes the holojoke from the 1950s. So anyway, let's see here. So yeah, there was a shoe production facility, and then oh look at that, it says I wanted to find out how many shoes were made and stuff like that, right? So it says exact production figures for the Auschwitz shoe factory are not fully preserved, right? Because SS records were destroyed near the end of the war, but they have supposedly records of all the. Oh no, no, I'm sorry. They don't have records of the supposed Jews that were killed, right? The only record I think is from the Red Cross for like 271, right? 271,000. And there are no records of the people that actually died. Or maybe there are, I'm not sure, but the records that were found are infinitely less than what is claimed. So, but So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, it says that there were 300 to 1,000 people working at the shoe workshop at a time in Auschwitz. Now, note, I didn't include it here, I don't think, but I read elsewhere that there were upwards of 100,000 inmates working at Auschwitz daily. But remember, we're told this was a camp for them to just go disappear. Obviously not. It was a labor camp. So, anyway, it says that monthly they put out 10 to 20,000 pairs of shoes, or repaired or produced new. Um, yeah. So, oh, and then so the digital Jew tries to say that all the shoes were taken from the prisoners and dead inmates, and then given to I don't know other people or who knows the military. But the military is not going to want just a civilian pair of shoes. It does admit that some were given back to the inmates, but over on the right, you can see that obviously Germans and even some inmates said that the shoes were given back to the prisoners. So it said part of the shoe repair work. I'm sure all of the shoe repair work was indeed intended for the camp, or for soldiers, one or the other. I'm sure they did repair Wehrmacht boots and stuff like that, but that would have nothing to do with taking anything from any inmates. And then it says that then it admits that the camp had to maintain prisoners' footwear, right? For because they were laboring, blah blah blah. But of course, if you want the prisoners to be happy and have no issues, then you're going to provide them footwear. And the Germans did give them footwear, or they came with their own and kept their footwear. Nobody was stealing footwear. So just another lie. So on the bottom right there, you see Perry Broad. He was an SS soldier at Auschwitz, and he said that repaired shoes for the they repaired shoes for the troops and for the prisoners of the camp. Um, it says Auschwitz-Birkenau State Museum archives include prisoner testimonies noting that some repaired footwear was returned to the camp's clothing depot for redistribution to inmates. So the prisoners or inmates testify that the shoes did come back to them. And then it says that there were SS administrative records that mention shipments of repaired shoes being allocated to prisoner clothing stock. And I wonder if they also distributed shoes and other clothing or stuff that they repaired to other camps as well, not just Auschwitz. So, uh, so anyway, yeah, it's not what it looks like, and it's not what they tell us. So everything they say is a lie.